Hello beautiful, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to this video. We're going to talk about the new Little Cosmetics Wildflower collection. I got this sent to me. I have it all here. We're going to swatch it. We're going to try it out. I'm going to do 2 different eye looks and I'm just going to let you know whether or not I think this is a good collection, because this is the sister collection of the very loved Nightflower collection that came out last year, and that is to date my favorite palette ever from Little Cosmetics. So I'm so excited to see what this sister palette is going to give us. And if you haven't been here before, do consider subscribing. I do upload quite a lot of videos just playing with makeup, having a little bit of fun, just appreciating color and especially indie brands. Little Cosmetics is a Germany-based indie brand and they do ship out of Germany. I think you can get them at other places as well. I know that Camera Ready Cosmetics has them. And throughout May, they did give me a code that gives you 15% off their website, which is Agnieszka. The code is affiliated, but if you wanted to pick something up from now and up until the end of May, might be a good time because you can get 15% off. I'm popping in for a quick announcement. I just talked to the owner of Little Cosmetics and she let me know that they're having a sale on Little Cosmetics until the end of April. So the 30th of April, they're having a little bit of a discount. Well, actually, it's a big discount on the Little Cosmetics website. And you can stack my code Agnieszka on top of this discount if you wanted to get an even bigger savings on the sale price. Just wanted to pop in and let you know about this. I will put the details in the description box. This collection is a palette that I have right here. Mine unfortunately came with 2 broken shades. I want to say I fixed them, but did I really fix them? I'm not good at fixing shades. I'm not good at that. There's also 4 blushes in this one that looks like this. I think these blushes are about $15 each. These are the shimmery blushes. Let's actually talk about these first. This is one of my favorite things that Little Cosmetics has. Their shimmery blushes was in my yearly favorites of last year, and they're coming out with 4 new shades, one of them being a shimmery yellow, and I love a really warm cheek. Sometimes yellow can be very flattering if you have a warmer undertone or if you have a little bit of a golden undertone. Same how purples and really like baby pinks can be really flattering on a cooler skin tone. I don't wear those as much because I have a little bit more of a golden undertone. They also have this beautiful like berry at the end here, and it is just so pretty. And I love this shimmery formula. It really is a beautiful, not a highlighter hybrid, I wouldn't say that, but it is truly a shimmering blush formula. It picks up beautiful on the brush. I'm definitely going to be using the yellowy one. I think this is either Neophyte or Tendril, this yellowy blush. This is the matte blush, and then they have a very yellowy highlighter as well. Don't remember the name of this one, but I will put the name of these 2 yellowy ones in the description box together with the prices and my discount code and all of that. So if you're wondering about anything, I will put it in the description box. And I did get these in PR, but this video is not sponsored. Let me also put that out there. But these are 2 of the yellowy things I have from Little from before. So I wanted to swatch these side by side by this new yellowy shimmery blush to show you where this one lands in comparison. And I will say the matte yellowy blush is leaning a little bit more on the orangey side than this yellowy blush. I'm hoping it's going to look flattering on the skin because the matte blush looks beautiful on my skin tone. It's one of my favorite blushes in my collection. I really like it. And then we have the eyeshadow palette, and this palette will retail for $52, but you can also buy all of these shadows as singles, and they do vary a little bit in price depending if you're getting a matte or if you're getting a trio chrome, because they do have a neon shadow in here, a satin shadow, some shimmer, some trio chrome, some mattes. There are different formulas in here. And that's one of the things that I really love with Little Cosmetics, is that they give you different formulas within a palette. This swatched amazingly. I've always really liked Little Cosmetics, but I've always thought that their shimmers are better than the mattes. But the last, I want to say last like maybe 4-ish palettes since, because I have the Nightflower here. This is the Nightflower palette right here. I feel like since this palette, something happened where they made their mattes even better, and I really love this palette. Let me actually show you some comparison swatches of the Nightflower compared to the Wildflower, because some were saying that they were the same palette. They are definitely not the same palette. They are companion palettes, meaning that you can use them together and they have complementing shades, but there are no dupes within the palette. The Nightflower just leans a little bit more on the night side, a little bit more muted, a little darker, a little grungier, and the Wildflower is a little bit more like daytime, a little brighter, a little bit more I don't want to say colorful because they're both colorful, but like just a little bit more of a brighter, lighter tone. And I think both of them are super, super pretty. And like I said, I love the Nightflower palette. This collection also has some of the Haze lip creams, and I thought that maybe I can swatch these on my lips and before I get into the actual like eye colors, because I haven't used those yet, but I love the formula. It is a formula that is more of a almost like a blurry mousse, and you can apply just a sheer layer and get just a sheer wash of color, or you can build it up, and it is a very comfortable formula. And then there is a brush soap in here. I haven't even opened this one yet. Let us see. It just looks like this, and there is a soap on the inside, and there is a little scrubby mat here. I kind of wish the bristles of this one was a little bit longer, but I do love the format of this one. And I have actually been, listen, you might not believe it, some people say I started my own beauty brand, and I came out with brushes just so that I wouldn't have to wash my brushes anymore. And that, while that is a funny joke and I do laugh with you, I will say I have been a person that's actually been washing my brushes pretty good recently, and I think that this one will be a good companion to that one as well. Let us start with the blush, because I want to put the blush on, and I am going to be putting the yellowy blush on because I cannot be stopped. And we're going to see, because it picks up really nice, and we're going to see if this one works on the cheeks or not. I think that that looks beautiful, and this is just such a smooth and very, I want to say like not thin, but I mean thin in the best way possible. Smooth and thin and blendable and silky formula. It just really glides on the skin. This is why I really love this formula and why I mentioned it in my yearly favorites, because I think that this is a beautiful formula. And I'm just putting this where I would put blush and highlighter as like a little combo. I think that that looks beautiful. Again, if you have a very, very pink undertone, this might not be for you, but if you have a very pink undertone, I think this purpley one might be for you. The trick with yellowy blushes is that they need to be a little bit sheer. Otherwise, it's just gonna look a little weird. But this one, I think I love the look of a yellowy blush. Okay, don't come for me. So let us swatch all of these. And like I said, I'm gonna do 2 eye looks. So, I'm just gonna keep the last one on. And the last one that I'm gonna keep on is actually this more terracotta one that's called Phoenix. That's the one I'm gonna keep on, but I'm starting with the one that's called Breeze. And I do have a lip liner on, but I only had the lip liners around my lips. I did not have it on my actual lips. This is a nice mid-tone, warmer pink. I think a lot of people would really enjoy a lip like this. It's like pink without being like pink, you know, capital letter pink. It's nice in between. Oh, I actually really like this color. This is about as pink as I would go. It's almost like a light wearable berry. This one is in Lyra. I really like this one. I maybe wouldn't wear it with like a yellow chic, but I really do like this one. That's a nice color. This is the purpley one. This one is called Hydra, and I think a lot of people are gonna love this. This is a smoky purple. I don't do purple lips. This one I can do though. I have a couple of like see-through smoky purple lips that I really love, and this one, I actually think this looks incredible, and I'm a little bit sad that I'm not wearing this right now. Should I just, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put the orange on so we can see all of it, but I'm gonna do a purple look as number 2, and then I can put this one back on. How about that? It's a compromise. So this is the shade Phoenix on, and it is more of a soft, slightly terracotta mid-tone brown, and I really like how this one looks on. We are going to be doing 2 looks, and the first one, I want to be trying out this one, the green that goes to purple, and I think I'm going to try and do this one just to have something to blend out with. This one in the crease, then this one, and then this one. I'm just going to do 3 shadows, and we're going to see if we can do a very impactful look only using 3 shadows. Honestly, only 2, because the beige is probably not going to be seen that much. It's just to soften the edges. But let me zoom in and let's start. So we're starting out with this beige shade here. I am using Sigma EO3 because I just want this to be a little bit of just a shadow in the crease, so that we have something to blend that dark blue teal in the corner into, and not necessarily as like a standalone shade. I'm just using it as a transition shade, in the classic sense. And now with the EO2, I am doing that dark blue, and we are gonna start buffing this in the outer corner. When I swatched this palette, because I have already swatched this palette, I noticed that this shadow had extra grip to it. So I think that this is going to be super easy to build up. Well, sometimes you can just tell by the formula that like this is going to be very easy to build up because it had like some extra little grippity grip to it. So I'm just going to put that as what I would like to call a blob out here, not in here, just out here. Just gently blending that into that like taupey color that we put there. And now with that bigger, fluffier brush that I used before, we're just blending a little bit on the edge to make sure that this is blended the way that I want it. You can see I'm flicking a little bit here because that's the direction I want the color to be moving. I see sometimes just haphazardly blending in different directions. Make sure you're actually blending in the direction that you want the colors to move. And I'm going to switch to an even smaller brush. This is the EO5, and I'm going to use the exact same color. And this is a very good tip if you want to get some dimension and some gradient in one color. Switch to a smaller brush and start building a little bit where you want it to be the darkest with a smaller, more dense brush. And then you can create a little bit of dimension within the color. I'm using a little bit of the blue on the EO1 under my eyes as well, about as far in, so that we're really just capturing on the outer part of the eye, and then we're gonna keep it light on the inner part. So now we're gonna do this green purple duochrome. I don't know if you can see anything. You saw it in the swatches. We're gonna do this one all over the lid, and I'm picking it up with the EO1, and I am gonna spray it because I want as little fallout as possible, and I want to be precise where I put it. So oh, so pretty. It's almost like a little periwinkle blue when it comes together with this blue shadow. I'm gonna put this on the entirety of the lid that is like the inner part. I'm gonna blend it over a little bit. Oh, that looks so beautiful. When you have a topper, make sure that you blend it a little bit on top of where you're meeting. Then you're gonna get the best effect from a topper because it's gonna transform depending on what you put it on. So this one, you can definitely build it up so it looks intense, but if you just put a sheer layer, you can see that it has a different effect over the matte shadow. And I'm putting this all the way into the crease, and I'm blending gently upwards and just blending it out. Love that. I'm gonna do the exact same thing on the lower lash line. I think that this one looks super pretty, very easy, just easy approachable look, using, let's be honest, only 2 shades, but the little bit of the beige to blend the blue into. And it's just a fun way of using colors and using contrast without getting too involved and too complicated into like 20 different shadows. Okay, so the first look is done, and I really love this blue. I love a blue look. We all know this blue is my absolute favorite color when it comes to eyeshadows. So I had to do something like this. And I will say, on the eyes, this shadow, that is this shadow. It looks very, very different. When I swatched it, I thought it was like a lavender to a green, but with this blue, it really is reading more periwinkle. But I'm very excited about it though. I think it looks really, really cute. And let's get into look number 2. I'm gonna do a purple look, and I'm gonna be using this shimmer down here because it was just so beautiful when I swatched it. I need to. Back with the purple lipstick, and I also had a snack. I deserve the snack. What I want to do is that I want to do something, because when I saw these purples, like I'm dying to try them. This is also purple, but it has like gold sheen. You can see the duochrome here. This one is more of a pink to blue, which I love, but I really, this one, it swatched so wonderfully. It was this beautiful like pink violet. It looks stunning. So we're definitely going to be trying that one. I think what I'm going to do, I'm trying to think. I think I'm going to do maybe an EO2, the half like big one, the half big one. Really, the middle one. And I'm going to do the, not the darkest purple, but the purple that was like, and I think I'm just going to stamp this on. The purple that's the mid-tone purple. The only thing that I'm missing in this palette is an inner corner highlight. Because for me, none of these shades are like really inner corner highlights. But at the same time, it's not really hard for me to like dig in and try to find something like that in my collection. Literally have a collection of inner corner highlights that I love. So I might bring something like that in for this look. But I'm gonna do the opposite of what I did last, not the opposite, but you get it. This time I'm gonna bring the colors all the way in, and I'm gonna do something that's dramatic all the way in. Maybe we'll fake a cut crease. Let me show you how you can fake a cut crease without actually having to do the detail work. This is a very cool tone purple, and since I do not have a very cool tone skin and I'm using a primer, I'm always using this one. This is Ignite by Sigma, which is, I'm almost out. I'm gonna have to dig some of this. I'm gonna have to dig some of this out. This has a more warm leaning beige undertone. Some of these cooler shades sometimes can be a little harder for me to blend out, but I think that this blend is good enough. And I don't want to over blend because it's gonna become patchy, it's gonna become like muddy, and I don't want that. So I have been using this one, and I'm gonna be using this purple now, and I'm just gonna be intensifying this purple with that one. And I'm using a smaller brush. This is the EO5, and we are just gonna be intensifying the purple in the outer corner and in the crease, just blending these together. Ooh, that is a lot of fallout. Okay, let me make sure I don't get that much fallout. And I think I'm gonna put this on my lid as well to have as a foundation for that topper shade. And I'm not trying to pack it on, I'm just lightly dusting the purple on just so that the topper shade has something to use as a foundation. And I'm gonna use this shade, this like more bright purple. I'm gonna use that under my eyes as well. And I will say, and this is just an observation, this, I wish there was a bigger difference between these two shades for them to like go together better, because as you can see, this one is leaning a little bit more of a blue periwinkle, this one is leaning a little bit more of a true purple. Together there's not enough depth, like difference in depth between these colors to truly make it a gradient between the two. And I kind of wish that maybe this one would have been a little deeper so that we actually could have gotten a little dimension between the two. But I do think that when you blend them together, you get a really cool result. So yeah, putting that purple under my eye as well. As you can see, it is just a full-on purple kind of a moment. Did this need a little bit more blend? I never try to do perfect blends, and I really think that unless you have the entire day to be blending, neither should you, because sometimes it's fun to do makeup and not take it too seriously. So we're gonna do this one. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take an EO1, which is the flat brush that comes to an end. You can see there is a tip to this one. So I'm gonna put it on the flat side. This one picks up really good, and I am gonna be covering this one. So I'm gonna spritz. This is just MAC Fix Plus, and I'm spritzing it. Ooh, and almost dropping it. And we are gonna put that, and we are gonna create with that tip a fake cut crease. So instead of blending it out, I'm just doing a very sharp line, but no concealer. I'm just using the shadow. So we got a little bit of that sharp action without actually having to dig out any concealer and too much precision. I'm putting a little bit of that down here as well. Both of these looks turn out very like a bluish purpley, but oh, that is so pretty. I am so excited about that shimmer. It is beautiful. I'm just gonna do a random pastel lavender in the inner corners. I did do Prance again in my waterline because Prance is the best and everybody deserves a little Prance action. But yeah, this is definitely a really cool look. I love how this looks and I'm so excited that I'm gonna be wearing this throughout the day. Part of me is like, should I have been a little bit more adventurous in my looks and just ventured into some of the pink? I thought I was gonna be more venturing into the green, but everything just ended up being purpley blue. And I'm not mad about it. I love looks like this. I honestly really adore this look. I think it is so pretty, and this shimmer just really is something else. I don't know, there are some brands that I've always liked them. I've always liked what they've done, but then they've just, you know, excelled and became like even better. Like Haze Beauté improved themselves, Lunar Cosmetics improved themselves, Glamlight improved themselves, Oden's Eye improved themselves, and I'm just so happy to see like these kind of good things come in. And all that I would say is that, yeah, 2 of my shades came broken, and I have heard from my friend Karen Harris, I was talking to her today, that she also received a broken shade or so. So I hope there's nothing wrong with the formula. I just hope that they maybe dropped our boxes before putting them in the mail. But I love the formulas of these, and the only thing that I would say is that I wish there was a bigger difference between these 2 colors, and I wish that there was like an inner corner highlight for me. Maybe this could have been a super pastel, because it looks really pastel here, but it is definitely not light enough to be an inner corner highlight. I think you can see that. It's more of a satin. If this had been like even lighter, I could have used that as an inner corner highlight. But again, that's just me. That's me being like, oh, I wish I had... That's just a personal preference. All in all, I like all of this. And I will say my absolute favorite is that there are more shades of these blushes, because I love these blushes. I think they're an absolutely amazing formula. And yeah, check the info down below in the description box. And like I also just pushed into in the beginning, they're having a little bit of a sale now until the end of April, so you can get an additional percentage off if you use my discount code for that as well. And of course, if you want to order something from this collection, if you want to order something on the sale, if you want to order something from any other collection, my discount code will now give you 15% off until the end of May, and the sale is going on until the end of April. I hope you're having an absolutely amazing day, and I will see you again tomorrow for a new video. Bye!